So this evening we're going to talk a little bit about growth and how growth pertains to the lean startup methodology and how we can use that to systematically find the answers to questions within your business. And the thing is, growth means different things to different people. If you're a startup, growth might mean that you're getting your first customer and getting traction. If you're already an existing business, it might be getting more customers. It depends on where you are in your cycle, and whatever it is that you're doing, growth will be determined by you as the owner. So when it's so broad, you need to have some sort of framework that allows you to figure out your engine of growth for your business. And one way to do that is to use the lean startup methodology to run experiments. And when we talk about experiments, we talk about asking a question in your business and trying to figure out the best way to find validated metrics that allow you to determine the answer to that question. So I'm going to be using the example of a restaurant as I go through this short training, and growth for them meaning they want to get more customers into their seats. So as a restaurant owner, if my question was at the top, well, I have customers coming in, but I'm not sure which one of my menu items they like most. To figure out that question, I could either make all those menu items, and at the end of the month, I can go back and look and see how many people actually purchased those products, and then figure out from there. But I could also do it another way, which is probably going to cost me a lot less and give me data over a wider range of people than just the people who have actually come into my restaurant. So what I could do is, for example, if I was using this method, I could build an experiment that would test people's reaction to 4 different menu items. So I use Facebook a lot as my tool or my mechanism to get metrics back, because it's so powerful and it's useful to get to your target market, your target demographic, to zone in and get that information. So if I was a restaurant owner and I had 4 dishes that I thought were going to be real smash hits, instead of me going and making all those meals and waiting till the end of the month to see who's bought, or the end of the week, I could actually create what is called maybe a carousel ad, where I have images. I make one of each of these, and take a picture of it, have the menu item and describe it, and then put this ad out to the people who are my target demographic. And from that, based on which one the people click on to get a discount, for example, as an incentive, you could make an incentive for them to click and get a discount voucher, you would see which of these is the most popular. So that's a simple way of describing a simple experiment, because at first we built a simple experiment to say, what is it that we're testing? We're testing which of these are most likely to give us the highest return when we put them on our menu. We built the experiment, the carousel ad, put it to our target demographic, and we measured the feedback. Now, based on that, we've learned something that's going to allow us to make a decision. Because now if this one was the winner this week, I could say, well, next week, let me try another variation and try 3 other dishes against that. That becomes my standard or my control. If that's my control and I test it against something else, I could find the next week something else that possibly gets more of a reaction or more traction from the target demographic. So with this, what we're doing is we're using a system of optimizing our decision on what it is that we're going to use to grow our business. In this case, if this was our growth metric, if our growth metric was which is the one of these menu items that's going to give me the most revenue. So with every business, you've got what is called a value ladder. And we'll use the sign, well, dollars and cents and all of that for our okay. So with our value ladder, there's different steps that one would engage with your business or your project or whatever it is. Some of these are called front-end opportunities, where you're probably selling one product, where it might just be if you're a restaurant, if you're selling a lunch menu, a Dagens middag, a Dagens meal for 60 crowns, 80 crowns, whatever it is. That's a way to get people in the door. So that might be offered at a discount. Let's say meal. So the meal at a discount might be the way to get people in the door. We call that a front-end offer. That front-end offer is going to allow you to get people in, but once they're in, your growth might be that you want them to spend more, either coming back to you repeatedly, or you want them to rent your venue for events. So return, rent, venue, and this might be catering. So this might be your value ladder if you were a restaurant. But these things here might be back-end offers. Back-end means that once you've acquired a customer, you want to increase the lifetime value of that customer. You want to make sure that they're coming back again and again, they're spending more and more, or coming back for higher value services or products. So if growth is your mechanism here, these back-end things need to be systematized so that you don't have to do as much work to get them. You might get them in and get that discount, they come and get that meal, but unless you have a way to make sure that you can ascend them through your value ladder, you might lose these people. You might lose all of them and have to keep getting new customers the whole time. But once you've got them into your universe, if you have a system and you can build a system that you can measure, you can actually systematically get people to follow this path by building experiments that bring them back for these specific things. So in the case of a restaurant, their continuity is people coming back, and that's the return customer. If people don't come back, you've got to spend money for advertising, always to be getting new customers. That might not be effective growth because your advertising cost or your cost of acquisition, getting people in through the door, might be more than the profit that you're making. But if you have a system of firstly getting them in, then you're going to have lots of people possibly coming in. Lots of smiley faces coming in. But not all of them are going to return. You might get a few less coming back, and even less taking these lower end, these higher end products, and then even less taking these ones. But these ones, if you can effectively get all of these people and filter them to get there, you can build what is called a sustainable business, and that's your engine of growth. Your engine is something that drives or does things for you. It's the system that you have in your business that is answering your questions and defined by your objective, getting you to your growth metric. So there's a number of different experiments you can do in this, but the way to look at it is as a system. I think most of us, when we jump into our business, we're so used to that's employed, self-employed, business owner, and this is investor. So most of the startups are here. You're working yourself to the bone, and if you're sick or you can't work, the business dies. Business owner, the definition for being a business owner is that you can leave your business for 1 year, come back, and it's still functioning. An investor is someone who purchases these business systems. So what I'm talking about here is a system that puts you into this category. It's a system of making sure that you know exactly what people are doing to get into your front end and what is happening to get them to ascend up the back end. Now, all of these things require different experiments, but once you understand how quickly you can get data and how to build those experiments, you can rapidly build the system. This could be a day, a week, a month. If you've got budget, you can make this happen, but it's about systematically going through the different steps understanding your customer, understanding your message that you're putting out, and putting it into a mechanism that works for you so that you can get answers and help you grow. So that's a quick overview on how the lean startup methodology and the way I interpret it and the way I use it for my customers to help them ascend and find the customers that they need to increase the lifetime value.